Burrow airs it out. Chase. Hello. Touchdown.
And I got a voice inside that needs to be fed.
Are two of the best historically, just not thus far. Against these receivers.
Making the Judkins again, and there is Smith roaming free, breaks a tackle. Ohio State strikes quickly.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Ohio Sports Talk. I am your host, Doug. That's the coach, Jordan Maxson. Jordan, how the hell are you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing great, man. The madness has started for NCAA basketball. We are in conference tournaments. We got Maxson. We got Ohio State to talk about. We got some UD to predict. I am pumped. It is the best time in college sports right now. Minus the new, we know what football gave us, but right now, this is exciting. This is the players, they're on the biggest pedestal of all time. Family's doing well. A little bit busy, getting into football myself, starting some conditioning programs. So I am ready to rock and roll. How are things in your neck of the woods, brother? I know you got some cheer going on.
Doing good. Yep. Had cheer last night. And then tonight we had tumbling. So we're getting busy in that. Bronson's starting up flag football here in a couple weeks. We're excited about him trying that stuff out. Just, getting into the mix of things, being busy, staying busy. It's that time of year. We sat through the damn winter. We sat through all that crappy weather, and now we're finally ready to go. So, let me start off by saying, as you can see, I'm rocking the new hat.
Yes.
The new Ohio Sports Talk hat. That is from Safari Sun on Facebook. Quick shout out to them. Badass hat, dude. I just love it. I can't wait to give you yours so we can rock them on the show together. That's a great way to start off the show. These hats are badass, man. I had a couple people ask for them. We had to buy them. They were bought, but I did want to shout them out because they made a badass hat and a really nice hat. So I did really want to shout those guys out. But Jordan, we've got a shit ton of stuff to talk about tonight, man. A lot of sports are going on.
Yes.
So, like you mentioned at the top, March Madness is alive, and it's that time of year, dude. We are in the thick of it. Conference tournaments are raging right now. What are your thoughts before we really get into the show? What are your thoughts? March Madness time. For me as a college basketball fan, as a UD guy, March Madness has always been a really, really special time in my fandom. The opportunity, we're going to fill out some brackets. We're going to do all that fun stuff. What are your thoughts on March Madness before we get into it?
It was all about friendships. We always got together growing up. We always did our brackets. If one of our teams was on, we always rushed to the other one's house, cooked some pizza, got it going, and just really got into the spirit of things. So, it's just keeping that alive and well, teaching the kids the same things that we grew up on. And, I love it. And it's the most competitive time of year for me. You just see the athletes at their greatest, because this is the time where the hot streaks matter the most. And some of our teams have fizzled out, but we'll get into that later. But
we'll touch on that.
Definitely just pumped. I think it's just these kids work 3 months out of the year to get right here, and this is for all the marbles. So I'm just excited. I'm pumped. I love doing the brackets, like you said. A little competitiveness, a little back and forth with some rivalries, and at the end of the day, it's just fun, and I feel like it brings friends and families together for some great viewership.
Definitely, dude. That's well said. Perfectly said. Encapsulates what March is all about. Jordan, let's keep it moving. Let's talk our Cleveland Cavaliers. They simply the title here says it, Jordan. They cannot lose. The Cavaliers simply cannot lose at this point. They have now won 15 games in a row. They are 55-10, Jordan. This is, without a doubt, in my opinion, the single best basketball team I have ever seen in my lifetime as a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. That, if you want to call it a regular season award, that's fine. This is the best regular season team we've ever had. And they do it night in and night out, Jordan. They are the best fourth quarter team in the NBA. You know, we'll worry about them for 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden, Cavalanche, and the script flips completely, and these guys look like they're world beaters. You know, incredible stuff. Talk to me about 15 in a row. Talk to me about 55-10, because this is a special team, and we've been talking about it for a while now.
I'll start at this 15 in a row because.
Oh, you don't want to talk about the other 15 in a row?
I mean, we beat on that a little bit. Yes, this is like the 3rd time now that the Cavs have run 15 in a row. But this one, I particularly loved the last game to make it 15 because no Donnie,
right.
No Hunter, multiple bench players were out, and it tested the depth of this team. And they found a way. It didn't look good for Garland early, and just like you said,
came alive though. Came alive in the 4th quarter,
and showed exactly why he was an all-star this season. And for me, that's just it. It says about a lot of the character of this team. And I, give more roses to Jared Allen, because damn, Doug. I mean, now 2 of the last 3 games he's reached his double-double again. And it just keeps getting better. And he had that little slide. I think his confidence is back. I think his swagger is back, especially with the injuries / or rest days. Allen got his minutes, got his feet back into the deep end, and he has responded. And 55-10, Doug. I mean, it's been a while. You'd even have to think about some of the teams of the LeBron era that didn't do this. So, I'm thrilled. This is, like you said, call it a regular season award, but Doug, the players say the things that need to be said.
Yeah.
Donnie always sums it up. The mission ain't over. He says he's been there before. He was there. There was a time where he was the number 1 seed in the West before he got traded. So Donnie's been there before. The rest of the team has been here before, playoff wise. So right now, Doug, this is a mixture and confidence that we have never seen in Cleveland as a whole unit from top to bottom. We've only seen LeBron be the equalizer and wield his way through the East, but now we get to see an entire team, an entire roster, bench players included, wield their way to the East. And we locked in the first round bye. We won the Central. And, there's more work to be done, and it was just great to hear it. How do you feel? Because I'm on cloud 9 right now when it comes to the Cavs.
I think I'm at a similar level. I think this is, like I said before you started, I think this is the best regular season team we've ever had. This is one of the best basketball teams we've ever had. I think what makes it more rewarding, Jordan, and I was talking to a couple people about this before, it's more rewarding when you don't have the best player in the NBA on your team. Like, that is not meant to take away from anything LeBron. Right. LeBron took us to 5 championships in his time here, or 5 finals in his time here, and we were outmatched in a few of those, and he was able to win the one in 2016, one of the greatest NBA finals of all time. But to me, Jordan, this feels more special because we don't have that guy. We've got a damn good player in Donovan Mitchell, who's probably a top 10, 15 guy in the NBA, a superstar by all means. We've got Darius Garland, who's one of the 5 best point guards in the NBA. We've got Evan Mobley, who's a top 5 power forward in the NBA. We've got Ty Jerome. We've got DeAndre Hunter, who are top role players in the NBA. We've got Jared Allen, who's probably the most underrated center in the NBA. This is a damn good basketball team from top to bottom. The depth is incredible. Could we use an extra big man? Probably. But I'm not going to harp on that because the bench gets it done. They still get it done. They still produce. Kenny Atkinson, I know I've seen a lot of people kind of, JB Bickerstaff kind of defend him and everything, but because of the health last year, I'm sorry, but JB Bickerstaff wasn't coaching on this level. He's doing a damn good job with Detroit. He is a really good coach when it comes to rebuilding a franchise and getting them to the point where they need to be taken over the hump. And JB was really good here for a couple years, but we saw the writing on the wall. We could only go so far with him, and we're going to see if Kenny Atkinson can kick down that wall and get us to the next level. I think this is a special team, Jordan. If we could win an NBA championship without LeBron, that solidifies the Cleveland Cavaliers as one of the best franchises of the modern era, and that would be epic, dude. That would be absolutely epic if we could somehow pull that off. We've got some tall tasks in front of us, but the magic number to clinch the first seed, Jordan, I think is 9 or 10 games. We need to win, or we need to win like 8 or 9 more games now since the Celtics lost last night. I think the magic number is 8 to clinch the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
That's the goal. There's still 17 games left in this season, Jordan. 17 games. Tomorrow night, the journey continues at Memphis. We know Donovan Mitchell is going to be sitting out tomorrow night. Well-deserved. The guy, we want him to be right and ready for the playoff run. And, I expect us to come in there and compete. Memphis is a good team, dude. You got to slow down John Morant. You got to do other things. I still expect this team to be battling and be in that game with a chance to win it late. Darius Garland, for whatever reason, slow start the other night. For whatever reason, that's kind of his MO when Donnie's not playing. It kind of takes time. I feel like sometimes he's trying to get other guys involved. I would like to see Darius come out extremely, what's the word, hunting his shot. I would like to see him get going early and hunt his shot from the start and then let the other guys come on, kind of play off of his game, if that makes sense. But, he finished with 30 points. He finished with 4 steals, a handful of assists. He still ended up with a great game, 8 assists, clutch buckets down the stretch, Jordan. I mean, we worry about Darius, but damn, has he been good this year, top to bottom. Of course, there's going to be some highs and some lows in between. And another thing that he does well, and we talked about it multiple times, battles his ass off on defense. Is he a great defender? No. But I am okay with that when you're willing to put in the effort, being his size. We've talked about it. You played a little undersized in most of our basketball games, but the effort was what was important. And when you have a teammate that's given his all, that always just makes everybody else more comfortable and more willing to do the other things, the help side, the picking up other people. So this team just feels complete, Jordan. 960 live viewers. Awesome numbers. Thank you to everybody who retweeted the show on Twitter. Thank you to Angel in the comments right now. Thank you to everybody who's helping us out. We're on our way to 1,000 live viewers tonight, so another exciting show for us. Jordan, like I said, 17 games left this season. How do you think this goes down the stretch? Do you think do you think we blitz to get those 8 or 9 wins to seal it up against and get the number 1 seed against the Celtics, then rest? How do you see these next 17 games kind of panning out?
I could see 10-7 only because of rest days. I think that would be fair. I think they blitz to lock it up. Kenny Atkinson and Kenny we trust because he's gonna rest these guys in the midst of these 8 wins that they need. Yeah. Guys are gonna get healed up. But I think as soon as we reach that, I think you'll see like guys like Garland get some much needed time off. Mobley definitely. We're gonna value our time off there. Donnie's gonna get some. I think you're gonna see limited minutes in Donnie. I think 1 to 2, maybe even 3 quarters. Drop him off. Especially if we're comfortably winning. The bench is probably going to be more involved. Some guys that we don't normally see play. The point guard is slipping my name right now. He had an awesome 3 at the. Yep, Craig Porter Jr. is going to probably get involved. Kenny, I could see Kenny knocking the rust off of some guys that don't really get a lot of exclusive time because that's what the playoffs is all about. The I word happens, the bug comes through sometimes in the playoffs, and you got to get these guys the rust off and get ready. And I think 10-7 wouldn't be. Now they could do better, but 10-7, in my opinion, wouldn't be unrealistic. Just because I see some of these games where starters are going to get major rest.
Yeah, and I think that's fair, and I think it's a solid prediction. I'm right there in line with you. I think as long as they seal up the 1 seed, I have no issues with how it's ran. I would love to see, I think Kenny Atkinson's done a great job with minutes all year. We've talked about it. Garland's playing around 31 minutes. Mitchell's playing around 30 minutes. These guys have been used well, and it's been smart the way Kenny Atkinson's done it. We've got, in the midst here, we got at Memphis, like I said, we got Orlando. Then to start next week, Jordan, we got at LA Clippers, at Sacramento, at Phoenix, at Utah, at Portland. That's a that's a 5-game West Coast swing right there, where I think you're going to see some guys take some breaks and take some rest days and maybe limit the minutes a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if we caught a few losses in there, Jordan, just trying to get our guys ready for this home stretch. And then we come back. So busy week next week, Jordan, 5 games in next week, or 5 in the next week and a half, 2 plus this weekend. So 7 games here in the next week and a half. I'm excited, Jordan. 55-10 is incredible. Playing incredible basketball, team basketball, the kind of basketball you want to see your team playing. Boston, I saw the other night, had 22 threes in the first quarter or something crazy like that. I like that the Cavs shoot the 3 ball and they're playing that modern style basketball, but god damn, that's a lot of threes, dude. I mean, that's just I'm excited.
We saw in our matchup 2 weeks ago against them. They came out launching a 3 ball, and Doug, that streak, that I consider that streaky basketball, because when it goes ice, then you get a team like the Cavaliers who will go inside and start chipping away at it, and that's dangerous. And that's where I like our 2 big men lineup that I'm glad Kenny Atkinson didn't get away from this season. With Mobley and Allen, kind of dominating the inside. I like our small lineup that he's been using and kind of incorporating late in games, so we can play the matchup, so we can play chess, not checkers. So, he's experimented. It went well. We did it against Boston. We showed that it can work. It was scary at times seeing Mobley on the bench, but, we understood it when the dust settled and all things were said and done. But like you said, I think we put a bow on it here. Amazing season. And the mission's not done. And I love hearing that from the players. And I just, when it, the wins are great. And, but you didn't hear that just from Donnie. You've heard that from Garland. You've heard that from Allen. You've heard small comments from Mobley. So just hearing it from your core players that, hey, the winning's great, but they know that they got to get this over the hoop. They got to get down the yellow brick road and into Emerald City. So, hopefully we'll get it done. So,
all right, let's keep it moving, Jordan. Great job there, buddy. Let's talk a little March Madness. It is here. We are in the midst of March Madness, Jordan. Let's talk about a letdown to start. Let's talk about a letdown. Last night, the Ohio State Buckeyes, Jordan, come up short against Iowa. I unfortunately watched that game. Unfortunately, that was rough, I would say, is the best way I can put it. Jordan, what were your thoughts on that game last night? And Ohio State's chances at being an at-large team have pretty much vanished. What are your thoughts?
I unfortunately did watch a portion of this. So, Doug, it really put a bow on what this season was. And we pounded the table. We were always honest about it. We took off our love for our Buckeyes goggles. And, I'm going to be continuing to be honest about it. I'm not going to take away talent from the players. I'm not going to take away any of that. I'm not going to bash anybody. But the team, how it's constructed, and how it's playing, and maybe how it's coached.
Maybe
it's not good enough. They're not good enough. The offense is too stagnant. The zone demand is often confusing. The players looked really lost in a lot of defensive sets. We're not hustling back. They often got beat on fast breaks. The offensive rebounding was abysmal all season. I'm not just picking on this one game.
It's a whole season issue.
It's a whole issue. It was a complete painting, and this in season tournament game, Big Ten tournament game, told the final story, and I'm glad it's over. I'm glad. I really am. I'm glad it's over because it was fun to see them at their highs, but at the end of the day, if the Ohio State University wants to win in basketball, we got to get a new voice in there. And, they got to get serious about recruiting and the transfer portal. And that's just where I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to take anything away from the young men. I don't think it was necessarily an effort issue, but it just this team didn't mesh, in my opinion. And that's okay. That's where I stand on it.
I'll take it a step further for you. And this is years of watching basketball, years of everything, playing basketball at a decent level. But Jordan, This team was, in my opinion, poorly constructed. You know, they went out and they tried to spend the money. They brought in Aaron Bradshaw from UK. They went out and they got Sean Stewart from Duke. They brought in Micah Parrish from San Diego State. I think he's been there 2 years now, but it's all part of it. Devin Royal is a good player, who they recruited and everything. But in my opinion, Diebler has not gotten it done. Diebler seems like he wants to be a player's coach. He wants to be, that guy who connects with everybody, who does, has a great personal relationship, who does all that kind of stuff. Because in games, when you're watching this team play and they need a bucket, you will see some of the dumbest shots taken ever. I mean, in close games, you'll see and I hate to be this guy. Quest Glover plays a style of basketball that is not conducive to winning. That guy will take some of the most stupid contested shots you will ever see in the worst times of the game. And I think that is a coaching problem, because when you take that shot, there's not real consequences of you taking that shot, because the coach has allowed it for the entire season. In crunch time, in my opinion, there should be one guy who has the ball on that Buckeyes team. And the problem is with that, Jordan, is when you have only one guy who's reliable, the other team knows you only have one guy that's reliable. Right. And you're usually excited when anybody else besides, and I'll make that two guys. When anybody else besides Bruce Thornton and Devin Royal have the ball, I feel like the other team is celebrating that fact, because it's either going to be a turnover, a stupid shot, or a bad possession when those two guys don't have the ball. Micah Parrish, is a solid player. He got some good baskets in that game, but he is not reliable enough down the stretch to anchor your offense. And that's the problem, is Iowa tried to take away Bruce Thornton late. You had other guys trying to create, and it just did not go well. I think overall the discipline, the lack of discipline, the lack of accountability, from my eyes, is a major issue under Diebler. In my opinion, Ohio State has not made the tournament in 3-4 years now. This will be the third year or fourth year.
I believe it's year 3.
Okay, so this is the perfect opportunity, Jordan. Perfect opportunity to wipe the deck clean. Of course, players are going to leave. Bruce Thornton's going to transfer. He's going to go Kansas. He's going to go play point guard at a big time school, maybe in the SEC or somewhere. Devin Royal might transfer, but you need to clear the deck. I know there's guys on this roster you'd like to keep, but clear the deck. Bring in a new voice, bring in a coach who's going to clear out the assistant coaches. He's going to bring in his own guys. We got to figure out, does the University of Ohio State want to be a serious basketball contender in college hoops? To me, so far, I don't believe they want to be. They put all their eggs in the football basket, and they don't take enough focus and put it on the college basketball program. A school as good and as resourceful and as powerful as Ohio State is, you're telling me we have a team who can't consistently make the tournament? Since 2015, Jordan, this university has made the tournament 4 times in 10 years. To me, at Ohio State, that's not acceptable. You can have an absolutely stellar football program and still have a good basketball program. Michigan has a good basketball program. All these other schools have good basketball programs. I agree. We used to. What happened?
I remember the Mike Conley Jr. days, and
we ran Thad Mott out of town.
Great Greg Oden days.
I know we ran Thad Mott out of town, and it's never gotten back to that level ever since. And it happens. You have lulls, but to me, the change has to be made. And I thought you posted a good video last night, and I thought that made a lot of sense. I think Diebler needs to go. And we need to wipe the decks clean and restart. We spent a lot of time on Ohio State, Jordan. We've got a lot of other colleges to talk about. Let's get into it. Let's talk about Xavier. Tough game tonight. Look, I'm not a Xavier guy, Jordan. Obviously, I'm a Dayton Flyer through and through. Are not Xavier guys. And it's always going to be fuck X. And I'm sorry for, using that language, but that's just what it is when you're from Dayton, Ohio. But damn, did they lose a tough one in a game that they battled their asses off, Jordan. Up 10 at halftime, and then they end up losing that game 89-87. I don't think that takes them out of the tournament, Jordan. I think they're still in the mix, but I think they're probably right on that tween line based on what Lenardi and some of the other guys have said. They might be on the outside looking in after that Marquette game, and I feel bad. I kind of feel bad for them because that was a tough game to lose when when you play as well as they did in the first half, and then they kind of just tried to hold on in the second half, Jordan. Did you get to catch any of that game earlier?
I did. I did get to catch a little bit of that game. I have similar feelings about Xavier as you do. Growing up Flyers fans and the old Atlantic 10 days, and that's where my Alter Knights just lost in the Centos Center. So FX right now is 100% on my mind. But like you said, I'm not going to take anything away from the young men just because of my dislike for the team. They did battle their ass off. I thought it was kind of a slam dunk when they were up 10. Right. That's something usually you're looking at Xavier's season this year from top to bottom. They have rarely, and I wish I had the full statistic, they have rarely lost when they were up at half. So I thought, I didn't think it was going to be easy per se, but I thought I kind of mentally tuned out because I'm like, all right, Xavier's just kind of doing their thing. They're up 10, and we'll see them again tomorrow and see who they play. But Doug, that wasn't. I was kind of shocked when I got the final result on my phone because I wasn't able to watch the complete second half. I was a little like, damn. And then I went back and read the percentages, and they just kind of got outplayed there in the second half when it came to rebounding and assist and things of that nature. The statistics of the game of basketball just weren't in their favors. And like you said, they depending how other tournament games go, if a conference dark horse wins,
takes a spot,
and it could easily take their spot. So I guess it's all down to just seeing how this Sunday plays out.
Yep, and then UC they were playing in the Big 12 tournament yesterday, lost by 20 to Iowa State. Not really a result that shocks me, Jordan. Iowa State is a better basketball team than UC. Kind of a ho-hum end of the season. They end up 18-15, 7-13 in the Big 12. They are on the outside looking in of the NCAA tournament. They had to probably beat Iowa State to get in. There's a chance here that might be Wes Miller's last game coaching UC. I don't know.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
I mean, the way they fell apart, I think it's very possible.
3 years. I think we're 3 years out without Cincinnati.
It's 2 or 3.
Without the university, I think it's 3. I think that's what I was reading. 3 years with a prestigious program that is built around basketball as a college. I mean,
now they're football.
I mean, their football is getting there, but it's always been basketball. You think about the Casimir Wright in that era, the Bob Huggins era and stuff like that in Cincinnati.
Steve Logan, Kenyon Martin, early 2000s.
You think about that rich history that they have, even dating back before then. Cincinnati was always kind of a team that you didn't think about because they're like, oh, they're going to be in the dance. And Doug, it hasn't been like that in recent memories. So that's
the move to the Big 12, though, Jordan, in my opinion, has not helped them at all. It's been very difficult for them in the Big 12. I mean, the Big 12 is a very good basketball conference, and I don't think they've been able to adjust to just how talented some of these teams are. Jordan, look at the Big 12. Let's just real quick. Iowa State, Houston, Baylor, Kansas, just to name a few. Texas Tech has a damn good basketball team. There's a lot of really good BYU is a damn good basketball team. There's a lot of damn good basketball programs in there, and it doesn't feel like UC has adjusted and gotten in the type of players that is going to really change their fortune in the Big 12 yet. I know they have a decent recruiting class coming in, but, man, they have taken it on the shins in the Big 12 play these first couple years.
No, and I agree with you there, but a part of me thought that when they entered the Big 12, at least on the basketball side, Doug, that the recruiting would be easier because now we're in a more prestigious conference and we have a history. When I say we, UC has a history of being a rich basketball program when it comes to wins, players in the NBA, scouting. I thought it would elevate the University of Cincinnati on the basketball side. I thought the football side would take it on a chin, and the basketball side which they have also. But outside looking in, before one game was ever played in the Big 12 as the University of Cincinnati, I was like, the football is going to struggle, and the basketball is going to soar. And us growing up in that era where UC was always successful, because even in those beginning outside conference tournaments, they've always made kind of a statement. And
Right.
I think it's time to clean house. I think Cincinnati needs to get back to their roots, bring in some voices, or bring in a veteran coach that's on his way out of his career, and build something, build a foundation, get an assistant that he likes, in line to be a successor, and take off the program. That's the route I would take. Going young's okay, but I think they need to bring in a veteran guy that has some history and oomph behind him, and says, "Hey, come play for me where you see we're getting back to business." And that's what I would like to see. So we'll see. They may deny a entry into NIL and skip it, or NIT and skip it. Is one article that I read. They may not go to anywhere, Doug. We'll see where it lands. In my opinion, if they don't take an NIT invitation, then I think their head coach is out like that day.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about the MAC real quick. Tonight,
let's get into it.
Today, Akron beats Bowling Green by 29 in the quarterfinal. Toledo takes down Ohio 90-85 in overtime. Hell of a basketball game.
I didn't think that was going to happen. I had Ohio winning out by at least 10.
Whoa, well, you were off your rocker. Toledo, in overtime, Toledo takes care. Miami of Ohio takes down Eastern Michigan 81-75. That second half by Kraft from Miami. Very good basketball. And then Kent State takes down Western Michigan in the other quarterfinal. The MAC, Jordan, the MACtion. How are we feeling about the MAC right now?
As for them going far in the regular tournament in 64, we'll see. But right now, Duck, I think this is one of the most competitive conferences for strength of, the teams going against each other out of probably all of them. It's pretty evenly matched. And these guys, they play their asses off. This is one of the most entertaining conferences. And I'm not just being biased when I say that. When it comes to basketball, that I think I can watch. Other bigger conferences are fine, but you have your top dogs. But the MAC always seems like, an upset can happen any given day. And I love that about the MAC.
Yeah, and the MAC's been excellent. They've had a dominant team in Akron, who's only lost one game in the MAC this season. Akron will play Toledo tomorrow at 5, Jordan. And then Miami will play Kent State at 7:30 tomorrow night. And then we'll get the winner of that game. I'm predicting, Jordan, we get Akron versus Miami of Ohio for the MAC title, the 1 and the 2 seed. They ended up there on, what is that, Saturday or Sunday? Saturday. Yeah, they ended on Saturday. Akron versus Miami. How do you feel about that one?
I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. I'm kind of a Zips person. I've always have been. I love their logo. I don't have any necessarily loyalty for the team, but we had a Miamisburg guy, Sean Fobbs, a long time ago, go play for him. So I've always been kind of interested and tracked him since then. So, I love what they're about, and this is going to be fun. This is going to be super fun, and it's a backyard brawl right here in Ohio. So here we are at the center of it all over again.
Hell yeah. I look for Akron to probably win the MAC again. Like you said, I've always supported Akron. They're a good program. And then quick recap of the Horizon League, Jordan. Youngstown State falls in the Horizon League final to Robert Morris. A nice run by Youngstown State to get in there, but Robert Morris gets the automatic bid from the Horizon League. We Wright State kind of faltered there at the end. So tough end of the year for some Ohio teams out in the Horizon. Now let's talk about our Dayton Flyers, Jordan. Dayton Flyers will be playing against St. Joe's tomorrow. St. Joe's is up 13 right now with 2:33 to go. They're going to win that game. I'm not, and then Dayton will play them tomorrow, 7:30 on Peacock, Jordan. On Peacock, St. Joe's is a team with good dynamic scoring guards. They've got a talented center. What are your thoughts on that game? They beat St. Joe's 77-72 in the regular season this year.
Doug, it depends which UD team, and we ended the regular season on a streak. So yep. The confidence, the rebounding looked better, the zone looks better. I still love the man. I hope they go back to it, but everything looked a little cleaner, and and I'm not being biased. Give me the Flyers. Give me the Flyers by 8. I think the Flyers go in at halftime, almost neck and neck, if not up by a point or tied. And I think they kind of go on a big run at the end. They get it done on a free throw line and on the offensive rebounding, and they pull out the win. So give me like a 68-60 win. I think it's going to be a fun one for Dayton fandom.
Yeah, I mean, and the first things first, Jordan. It's Atlantic 10 conference tournament time. Defense. You've got to defend. We know St. Joe's has dynamic guards. We know they have Reynolds and Brown who can shoot the ball. They can score the ball. They have the big man Fleming. That's the game we went and watched together at UD Arenas when they played St. Joe's. So,
yes, we did.
You've got to take care of those two. Secondly, you've got to box out. You've got to want to rebound, Jordan. There's rebounding, there are some skills to it, but you have to want it more. You have to want it more than the other guy also. You have to be willing to put your body on the line, and you have to be willing to attack the other guy and the ball to do this. So while there is some talent to it, you've got to want it, Jordan. And this team needs to want it tomorrow. They've got to want it.
That's what bothers me in this era, because I'm not a tall guy, but I've had games, and there's records of it. I've had games of 15 rebounds or more, and it was just throwing weight around and wanting the ball, following the shot, following the shooter to the rim, seeing what happens, boxing out, being aware. That too many times, and it bothers me in both leagues right now. Everybody starts backpedaling when a shot goes up, and I don't understand that fundamental. I'm not a high school, or I'm not a college coach when it comes to that. I don't know, but I always was taught to follow the shooter. If a shot goes up, try to get inside and fight like hell. And you just don't see that in a lot of teams. I'm not just picking on Dayton. It's just a fundamental that you don't really see anymore. Everybody's so anxious to get back to the other end. And, I think the team that doesn't do that tomorrow wins. And I think Dayton learns their lesson, and it comes down to their offensive rebounding in the second half.
All right, go Flyers. We will be watching that game tomorrow. We'll be talking about it. We'll be tweeting it. We'll be all about it tomorrow. A lot of college basketball to continue. Let's talk about this, Jordan. There's not a ton to talk about since Monday. We haven't done a lot. Let's go over this quickly, Jordan. What more can we say about this topic? We've beat the shit out of this topic, have we not so far?
What a mess.
We are absolutely beating a dead horse when it comes to these two teams right now.
You know what? I'm going to give the Browns credit. You guys have made some nice defensive signings. I love that you brought back Devin Bush. I love that you signed the other linebacker the other day. You brought in a defensive tackle. That's great depth. That's a great depth piece. So I'm gonna give the Browns the roses. I think they have made upgrades to the defensive side of the ball, and
Malik Collins was the DT. Malik Collins. Keep going.
I gotta give you props there. Getting your offensive line in gear, signing that free agent, retaining your own.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jack Conklin, we redid his contract today, saved a couple $1 million.
Contract. So you have to give the Browns some credit there, Doug, where credit is due. You've got your offensive line figured out. You've got some of your defensive line and depth figured out. You got your linebacking core. Looks like it's figured out. The draft may add some keys to it. But
I would say linebacker is still a need because of the concern with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah's injury, the neck problem that he's had since the end of last year. That is a big issue. So I think they need to attack that in the draft with maybe a 4th round, 5th round pick, depending on who's available. But yeah, I mean, they've done some okay moves, Jordan. They've done okay. We're going to hear from Myles Garrett tomorrow. That should be interesting, given, his media tour and the way he talked about the team. That'll be interesting to hear from him tomorrow, Jordan. And then the Kirk Cousins rumors swirling around. Russell Wilson was in town today. What is this team going to do? There's so many questions. The quarterback position right now is Kenny Pickett, and that's it. And he's talking about competing for the starting job. We talked about it on Monday. We talked about that on Monday.
Right.
No.
But I don't believe that.
He had an interview telling. Why would he lie? Why would he make that up about the Browns?
No, but as a professional, you're never going to say I'm here to not play.
Fuck.
I'm just.
Okay. That's fine. I don't mind what he said.
Right.
I don't mind what he said, but it's the idea that as of this moment, I know the draft is around the corner. I know we have the number 2 pick. It is an issue in my mind that Kenny Pickett is the only quarterback on the roster. I know that could change during the draft. I know. Kenny Pickett is so damn bad that it just blows my mind we're in this situation. Okay, Jordan, quickly because we beat the shit out of this topic, we're going to keep beating the shit out of this topic until these teams start winning football games. Jordan, Trey Hendrickson has sought a trade request. It appears that the Bengals are asking for a large amount of assets in his to trade for him. T. Higgins has the franchise tag. We have not gotten his extension done. He's going to make $26 million this year. Jamar Chase has not gotten his contract extension done yet.
The tweet.
I just
it's not big.
You know what? Let me ask you this. And then let me give you a direction. Trey Hendrickson, I understand. He's seeking a trade. He's under contract. Whatever happens, happens. T. Higgins, you guys franchise tagged him to give yourselves more time to negotiate and continue that process. But what the fuck are you guys doing with Jamar Chase? He is one of the best 3 receivers in football. He is an absolute animal. There is no reason to not have his contract done. Out of anybody on your team. Now that Joe Burrow's taken care of, Jamar Chase should have been taken care of probably the same day.
Probably 2 years ago.
What is this front office waiting for to get done with Jamar Chase? Is he trying to work out his contract to help T get extended? I don't know what the hell's going on, but your front office continues to raise questions about their mental state.
Oh, Doug, they're the most unserious front office in football in the NFL. They just are. Duke Tobin is wearing a leash by Katie and Troy Blackburn, and right now it shows more than ever. They let him say all the right things at the end of last year, and have backed it up with zero moves. I don't care who we signed. I don't care about the depth pieces. I just don't. Yeah, nothing right now. It doesn't make a fucking difference. We don't have any guards right now on either side. Congratulations, your interior line is incomplete. Congratulations, you have the Triple Crown winner in receiving, not fucking extended. Congratulations, we have probably a top 10 receiver in T when he's healthy. Whoa. I wouldn't hate that. I mean, he missed 5 games. If he stops missing 5 games a year,
T. Higgins he's very good. Top 10 is a stretch for me, but he is very good.
I understand
what you're saying.
Top 15.
He is a damn good receiver. He would be a number 1 on a lot of teams.
He's a compliment to Jamar Chase. Chase goes deep. Chase plays a little inside slot, but T will go across and get hit by the linebackers and absorb those blows and get you those first downs when it's most critical. Especially while Jamar Chase is double covered. They play off each other. It's Chad Johnson and Houshmandzadeh kind of reincarnated.
These guys,
in my opinion, these guys are better. But I'm talking about play wise, how they fit.
I agree.
They fit off each other.
I'm just saying these guys are better than that, though. That's the thing.
Houshmandzadeh was a technician when it came to routes, and Chad Johnson was just kind of give me the ball in space. But like you said, but yeah, this front office is a joke, Doug. It is.
I know. I'm laughing because it's comical that they have not done what it takes to be a great NFL franchise. They have all the pieces sitting in front of them, and they refuse to do it. It's comical, unfortunately.
We did 3 years ago, and that was it. We did it 3 years ago, and we think that's enough. And you
made a Super Bowl, and that's all they wanted to do.
That's all they wanted to do, but
they didn't want to win one. They just wanted to make one.
No, they didn't want to win one because they went to the Super Bowl under an offensive line that was ranked 26th.
I know, but I'm saying they got you to a Super Bowl and they never wanted to take the next steps to winning one. Is what I mean.
No,
I am agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, we would have extended these guys 2 years ago.
No, that doesn't sound good. Jordan, 1,615 live viewers. We are absolutely kicking a dead horse right now talking about the Bengals and the Browns. We're going to transition to news and notes a little bit. Well, depending on how you look at it, a little bit, a different conversation here. Let's start with FC Cincinnati, Jordan. Took another one on the shins the other night, Jordan. This team is still coming together. They have a lot of pieces that, weren't here last year. They're working their way in, but not a great result the other night. What was that? Tuesday night, Jordan?
It was Tuesday night. Tuesday night they ended up losing. It doesn't look great right now. I'm not. I believe it was Tuesday.
Tuesday. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was right out. It was right after our Monday show and before tonight. So
yeah, they got beat 3-1. 3-1. They got handled in the second half of that game. Handled. Keep going. I mean, let's look forward. Because we know what happened. They got smacked around, and then this weekend, Jordan, on what is that, Saturday, they play Charlotte FC. Charlotte FC is a team that they should beat. That is a team they are better than. I just, playing against these Mexican teams, those are good soccer teams. Hopefully we can come back to MLS play and get a victory. But that, it just worries me a little bit that they're not, they haven't clicked yet, in my opinion, the way I thought they could because of the talent that they have. Evander, Dinky, Buka, some of these other guys who are extremely talented. But your defense, you got to have defense. You got to be able to put the ball in the back of the net, and they haven't been able to do that yet. What are your thoughts?
I'm concerned. A week ago, I was kind of more calm about it. I said, we got some new faces. We're going to gel, as part of the growing pains. Regardless of playing international ball or not, outside the MLS. Doug, I never expected us to win, but I never expected us to lose badly. I thought it would be more of a, hey, they got the corner kick that we didn't, or they got the late goal. But just to get manhandled, even when it comes to just the statistics of it, all across the board, this team doesn't really look like a team right now. I know we've had some wins. I'm not taking anything away from the talent, but I'm thinking there might be a coaching issue here in FC Cincinnati.
Wow.
I'm not trying to spark
it's
that.
Too early for that. Jeez, it's too early for that.
I don't know, Doug. I'm feeling like you don't watch enough soccer to call for a coach change, and neither do I.
At least in college basketball, we can call for a coaching change. We are not good enough soccer viewers yet to call for a coaching change, and it's a manager anyway. It's a manager, you fraud.
A coach is a coach is a coach.
He's a manager. He's a damn manager.
Hey, maybe you don't watch enough Ted Lasso, but
I do. And Ted was a manager. He was a manager. He was a
coach's coach.
He was a manager of people, Jordan. That's what he was. I love it. Ted Lasso is a great show. That's an excellent
it is. Go to
show.
Apple. If you got Apple, go to Apple and check it out.
It's worth a watch. It is worth a watch. Jordan, let's talk about the Blue Jackets. They drop a game to the Golden Knights tonight at home, 4-0. Oh, boy. And then they lost to the Devils. They lost to the Devils the night before, 5-3.
After kicking the shit out of the Rangers.
After they beat the shit out of the Rangers. Jordan, I am under the impression that we are the problem. Ever since we started talking about this team, these guys suck. I mean, it's us, right?
Take them off.
Is it us?
Take them off. Take them off.
They've got a game.
Take the graphic out.
They've got a game on Saturday against the Rangers. We'll see how that goes. If the Blue Jackets lose on Saturday, Jordan, we will stop all Blue Jackets coverage for quite a while because we could be the problem, Jordan. Let's talk about baseball, Jordan. 14 days away, Jordan.
Yes.
Pete Rose, days away, Jordan. Pete Rose, 14. R.I.P. to the great one. I don't care that was a gambling addict. I don't care what he bet on. I'm a gambling addict. I bet every single day of my life, and I'm not even as rich as Pete Rose. It is an addiction. I will come out and say that. So I hope Pete Rose, even though it's he's passed away. I hope he's able to get into the Hall of Fame. We are 14 days away from baseball, Jordan. The Cincinnati Reds continue working their way through spring training. Today, the Red Hot Reds podcast released another episode of their show. They are talking about the starting pitching rotation. They talked about Hunter Green. They talked about, Rhett Lauder. They talked about Petty. They talked about all these different guys. We talked about how the rotation is laid out, how that's going to look as the season goes along, who's going to be the fifth starter. So please, 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 I'm going to link it in our show notes. Go check out the Red Hot Reds podcast, our Cincinnati Reds coverage. We love what they're doing over there. Ricky and Roger are excellent guys. Please make sure you go follow their social media on Instagram, on X, on Facebook. We tag all of them in all of our stuff. We retweet all their stuff. Please, please, please go follow those guys because they are doing a bulk of our Reds coverage. But Jordan, we have 14 days left. I would say in the next 2 weeks, we are going to do our Reds season preview. We're going to talk about, some predictions, some things like that. Maybe talk about a couple of our bets that we put in for futures for this Reds team. I am very excited to talk about the Cincinnati Reds this year as it goes along. So our coverage plus the Red Hot Reds coverage we're going to be all over it. We're going to be talking a lot of Cincinnati Reds as this year goes along. I'm excited for the season, Jordan. How are you feeling?
I know they took one to the chin against the A's, but it's spring ball. I'm not worried about it, but I'm pumped. I feel that we finally, from a coaching standpoint, we got a guy that will give accountability where accountability needs to be given, and that's something we've been sorely lacking probably since Dusty Baker left. And I'm ready for it, Doug. I'm ready for the new era in Reds baseball. Maybe not too many new faces per se on the team, but I think much like the Cavs went through, their own coaching change and not too many personnel change early. I think this is going to translate. I think we have the right voices. We have the right talent when healthy. Our pitching staff is going into this season looking healthy, and I think that means the world. McLean can stay healthy if we can get these guys, pieced together. This is going to be a hell of a ball club. I'm not, I'm talking playoffs. I'm talking, a playoff caliber team, and I'm excited to be a part of it and take this journey. 14 days, baby.
Hell yeah. Jordan, it's been a hell of a show tonight. Absolutely crushed it. We've got to talk about the Cavs. We talked March Madness. We talked Browns and Bengals, even though that sucks. We talked news and notes. A great show tonight. YouTube channel, we're over 600 subscribers. That is epic for us. Next goal, Jordan, is 650. We're going to start beating that drum. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed to that channel. Thank you to all the new subscribers who have subscribed. Make sure if you follow Reds Baseball, you are subscribing to that channel so you can get all of the Red Hot Reds podcast on there. You can get all their stuff and get our stuff also. We're going to keep on, Jordan. We got 1,679 live viewers right now, a new record for this show. Jordan, I'm excited, man. We are in a good place. Baseball's coming. I got your hat here, the Ohio Sports Talk official hat of the show. Man, it feels good. Great show tonight. Any last thoughts before we hit the road tonight?
No, I'm pumped. Interact with us on this busy weekend. We'll be covering the UD game hard. From Friday all the way on to Selection Sunday. Selection Sunday will be busy. Hit that subscribe button at YouTube. Watch the replay if you missed it. Share us when you can. We appreciate anything and everything, and especially the interactions. We're going to be as busy as we are in our personal life. We're going to be hardcore on X/Twitter this weekend, and stop in for some interactions. I can't wait to see where it goes. Doug, new record, 1680. Yep. It's only going to get bigger. We got some things in the pipeline that, I can't wait to announce. I'm busting at the gut. I'm on a 2-yard line for a lot of cool things going on right now for the show. Doug's killing it in the graphics department. I want to give credit where credit is due. A lot of what you see when live news comes, Doug is taking his time out of his, personal stuff and really handling it here at Ohio Sports Talk. So, when you interact with Doug, know that all of our graphics, our live time updates, a lot of it's coming from him. I'm trying to do what I can in time, but Doug is a better graphics person, so give Doug where Doug is due. But, I'm always here for interactions, good conversations, and even some headbutting because that's what I do best. But, come on down. We love it. We can't get enough of it. Sports has always been a big portion of our lives, and we're happy to share it with everybody here. So thank you. And I'm Jordan Maxon. This is Doug Stevens, my fucking brother, and this has been Ohio Sports Talk.
See you next time.